welcome to all of you who have joined this evening for our weekly film discussion on Talking Films Online. Talking Films Online, or TFO in short, is an informal coming together of academics, teachers, students, researchers, filmmakers, and cinephiles interested in cinema. More importantly, interested in talking and writing about cinema. The online group came together quite spontaneously during the pandemic and lockdown in June 2020. Dr. Geeta Vishwanath and I have been coordinating the activities. Request you all to please mute yourselves. The pandemic and Dr. Vishwanath and I have been coordinating request you coordinating the activities. Gopika, can you?
Yes, ma'am, it's muted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Dr. Geeta Vishwanath and I have been coordinating the activities of TFO since its inception with people like Sridhar Modugu, K. Paniraj, Ajanta Sarkar, Tarakeshwar VB, Yagnesh Shri, Rasha, Madhurima, and many others who join the weekly discussions and enhance the quality of the discussion. So far, we have organized over 195 online events, which include weekly discussions. Can you please mute yourselves? Geeta, can you mute yourself?
This is also to suit other countries, yeah.
Sorry about that. So far, we have organized over 195 online events, which include weekly discussions on a pre-decided film, besides a few month-long film festivals and discussions. For instance, this year in January, we had a Farmers Film Festival, and in March, we had a series of discussions on Kumar Shahani's films as a way of paying tribute to him. Sometimes various personnel from the film industry join our weekly discussions. For instance, last week, we had the filmmaker and French anthropologist Corinne Fortier, who joined the discussion when we discussed her film Aboard the Abradan. During June this year, to mark the 4th anniversary of TFO, we had organized the 4th smartphone short film competition for students between 18 to 25 years of age, and we had a grand awards ceremony, online ceremony, where the winners of the competition were feted. Soon, we are making preparations for organizing the first international seminar on cinema. Geeta, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. Soon, we are making preparations for organizing the first international seminar on Indian cinema in the digital era, continuities and discontinuities, in collaboration with FCT Baroda on September 30th and October 1st this year. Our aim is to get a conversation going around cinema and to get as many people involved in the process as possible. With all our events being online, anyone and everyone interested in cinema is welcome to our forum. We have a blog called talkingfilmsonline.wordpress.com, and we also have a YouTube channel called Talking Films Online, where you can watch some of our discussions. We are on Facebook. TFO is a private group on Facebook. We are also on WhatsApp as well. The film for this week's discussion, KANNATHIL MUTHAMITTAL, was suggested by Jenisha T. Jenisha is a senior research fellow in the Department of English Studies at the School of Social Sciences and Humanities, Central University of Tamil Nadu. Her research interests span the fields of forced migration studies, refugee literature, camp narratives, and life writing studies, with a compelling focus on the life narratives of Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. Her scholarly journey has led her to present her research ideas at various international conferences and also many conferences in India. Beyond presenting her ideas, she has also published many articles in respected journals. Very warm welcome to you, Jenisha. Very happy that you have suggested a film for TFO, and we look forward to the initiation of the discussion this evening. Over to you, Jenisha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much for inviting me to discuss this wonderful movie, Kannathil Muthamittal, by Mani Ratnam, in this esteemed forum, Talking Films Online. And I'm truly honored to be here today. And I would like to extend a special thank you to Professor Nikhila, whose generous invitation has given me this opportunity to share my insights on this film. Also, I am deeply grateful for my research supervisor, Dr. Bhupati, for his unwavering support throughout my academic journey. It is he who recommended me to do this particular topic paper on this movie. So Kannathil Muthamittal, which translates as a peck on the cheek. It was directed by Mani Ratnam, which was released in the year 2002. It's a poignant narrative that beautifully interweaves the themes of identity, belonging, and the complexities of familial bonds against the backdrop of the Sri Lankan Civil War. So I look forward to explore the themes with you today and delving into the portrayal of personal and political landscapes in the movie. So before getting into the movie, it is very important, significant to know about the concept of Elam. So if there are Tamil people here in this forum, they would have probably heard about this word for the last 10 years, even before the culmination of the Sri Lankan Civil War. After the end of the Civil War, we have been hearing this word in almost all the political discussions, all the all the election campaigns, etc. So this particular term, it refers to the Tamil homeland in the northern and eastern parts of the Sri Lankan province, which also signifies the desire of the Tamil people in Sri Lanka for their self-determination and the recognition of the Tamil people's distinct ethnic, linguistic, and cultural heritage within the country. So the LTT, which is a militant movement in Sri Lanka, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam, this particular movement spearheaded the Sri Lankan Tamil community along the northern eastern provinces of Sri Lanka, and it also aspired for an independent Tamil Elam, which was a central issue in the Sri Lankan Civil War. And this was a result, this was a reason why the war was fought for almost 3 decades, from 1983 till 2009. So the topic of Elam, as I said, has been a predominant issue spoken and debated even in Tamil Nadu. The filmmakers in Tamil Nadu have always shown inhibition in touching upon the subject due to its highly political nature. Though there are attempts to depict the actual cause and the effect of the Sri Lankan Civil War in Tamil cinema, but time and again there have been the censor board has reversed those films. So this particular venture, this Kannathil Muthamittal, it's actually a very bold venture. It was really a bold venture during that point of time, especially in 2002, when in Sri Lanka it was the second phase of the Elam war, where both the parties were intensely fighting against each other, and it was also immediately after the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. The assassination of Rajiv Gandhi is quite popular, and we all know LTD was a reason behind it. So along with Kannathil Muthamittal, there are also other critically acclaimed movies which is not very popular, but I would like to list out those movies here. One movie is Inam, which was released in 2014. This movie was directed by Santosh Shivan. He's a very notable director when it comes to representing the Sri Lankan Tamil issue. So this particular movie, it focuses on a group of orphans in a war zone in Sri Lanka and their struggles to survive amidst the Sri Lankan conflict. And another such movie is Kutram Kadidal. This movie was released in 2015, directed by Brahma. This movie, though, does not directly represent the Sri Lankan civil war. It touches on the aftermath and the effects of the conflict on Sri Lankan individuals. There are also several movies from Sinhalese perspectives directed by Sinhalese directors, such as In the Name of Buddha. This movie was directed by Rajesh Tachriva. This movie was released in 2002, and there is another movie called Ira Madiyama. So all these are Sinhala titles. So I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. So the translation of this movie is August Sun. This movie was directed by Prasanna Vitange. It was released in 2003. And another very popular movie is Road from the Elephant Pass, or Alimankada. This movie was directed by Chandran Ratnam in 2008. So why this movie is so popular is because both Sri Lankan and Tamil viewers, audiences would appreciate this movie. It does not only talk about the aspects and perspectives of Sinhalese people, whereas other movies, the movies that I listed before, they only talk about the Sri Lankan soldiers and the perspective of war from the army side. Whereas this movie, it portrays the tribulations of both Sinhalese and the Tamil community. And another very notable movie is Deepan. This movie was released in 2015. It was directed by an acclaimed foreign French director called Jacques Audiard. This movie reflects the life of a very famous writer called Shobha Shakti. He's a very popular Tamil author. He's a refugee writer. He was once a militant in LTT. Later, he escaped the Sri Lankan civil war, and he went and he's now a resident of France. So this movie talks about his experience. It's a semi-fictionalized account. Before moving into the discussion of the actual movie, I've already given you the list of movies that you could watch. So this list you cannot see normally, because these are some of the movies that I've shortlisted from many other movies. So which we could actually watch without any biased intention. So I would like to give a brief overview about the Sri Lankan Civil War, because it has such a complex and intricate history. I think it's very important to know the background of the war to understand the movie. So Sri Lanka, it is known to be a tear-dropped island. This particular idea, this particular image resonates with the painful history of the 3-decade long civil war. And Sri Lanka comprises of various ethnic communities, and the Sinhalese, they comprise a majority of population who follow Buddhism, and there are on the other side there are Sri Lankan Tamils who mainly follow Hinduism. And these people, Sri Lankan Tamils, they are known as, both are known to be the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka, and the actual conflict arised from this point. Like, who were the original inhabitants of the island? So the conflict started from that particular point. And there is also another particular community called Indian Tamils. They migrated from the southern part of India, Tamil Nadu, during the British colonization as indentured laborers to work in tea and coffee plantations in Sri Lanka. And there are also other communities, minority communities, like the Dutch Burghers and Veda community. Veda community is a tribal community who were the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka. So this was the demography. This is the demography of Sri Lanka. And after colonization, during the independence, in the post colonization time, the Sinhalese wanted to reclaim their agency and power over Sri Lanka, because during British colonization, the British colony, they gave many such opportunities, economic opportunities and educational opportunities to Tamils. They in fact favored Tamils during the colonization time. So this sort of created a resentment among the Sinhalese population. So they wanted to take back their agency and power and voice during the post-colonial time. So the policies such as the Sinhala Only Act, this policy was passed in 1956, and standardization policy in 1971. So these two important policies completely disenfranchised the Tamil minorities, and especially the policy Sinhala Only Act in 1956. It made Sinhala the only official language. This made things very difficult for the Tamil population naturally. So the conflict in the later stage saw various phases of intense fighting and also ceasefires. And most popular events of the war include the Black July assault in 1983, where many Sri Lankan Tamils' homes were attacked and people were burnt alive. And the next important event is the burning of Jaffna Library in 1981. So the fire resulted in destruction of almost 1 lakh books and manuscripts, and among them were irreplaceable losses of palm leaf manuscripts called Ole Chuvadi in Tamil. So this was a very rare kind of text which got burnt in the along with the library and other such historical documents. So these attacks on the cultural and political identity of the Tamils led to the proliferation of many Tamil movements, among which LTTE, it emerged as a militant movement following a guerrilla warfare method, and it arose as a stalwart movement at the time with their only goal as to achieve Elam. So I'm moving on to the movie discussion now. So Maniratnam, he has proved his genius in depicting this delicate subject, such a delicate subject with artistic proficiency. So Maniratnam's other popular films, as we know, Roja, which was released in 1991, Bombay in 1993, and Dil Se in 1998. So these three movies are known to be his terrorist trilogy. So these three movies have similar themes with war, and it also talks about various political issues in the backdrop, just like Kannathil Muthamittal. So the movie Kannathil Muthamittal, which is known as, unfortunately, it was a failure when it got released. It is a theatrical failure. But in spite of that, it has received 6 national film awards. It is a critically acclaimed movie till now. Many people realize the importance of the theme and the importance of the movie at a later stage. So this movie has been an inspiration for many directors to step into direction and step into cinema. So this particular movie, it is based on a short story called Amudavum Avanum, which translates to Amuda and Him by Sujata Rangarajan. Sujata, so he's a very popular Tamil writer who has almost wrote 100, more than 100 short stories. So this movie realistically depicts the crevices of war-torn country by connecting it with the broader human aspirations through the point of view of a 9-year-old girl, Amuda. So with the Sri Lankan Civil War as its backdrop, the movie brings many pressing issues of the war into the limelight, such as the internal displacement of Sri Lankan Tamils, guerrilla warfare culture, child militants, civilian attacks, and destruction of urban infrastructures. So the screenplay and visual depiction of the psychological turmoil within the characters such as Amuda, Shyama, and Indra run parallel with the external conflict of the war-torn Sri Lanka. So the film's use of flashbacks and fragmented storytelling reflects the disjointed and chaotic experiences of the characters who are caught between two different worlds. So this narrative technique deconstructs the idea of a linear cohesive story, mirroring the fragmented identities and disrupted lives of the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees. So Maniratnam, who is renowned for his masterful storytelling, screenplay, and intricate character portrayals, adeptly interweaves personal and political narratives in this film. So this synthesis of individual and collective storytelling is a distinctive feature of Maniratnam's filmmaking, providing a deeply human perspective on the broader historical and cultural conflicts that inform his narratives. So through his depiction, Maniratnam attempts to bridge the gap between the two worlds, one characterized by peace and removed from the immediate realities of war, which is India, and the other heavily scarred by a protracted civil conflict, which is Sri Lanka, which can also be observed in his other movies such as Roja and Dil Se, because in Roja there is this portrayal of a small village which is completely removed from the reality which is happening on the other side. And in Dil Se also we come, it's like in a particular scene, the female character, she asks Shah Rukh Khan in that movie, she criticizes him for not knowing about the history of the northeastern people, about the daily problems they face, and about all the political turmoil. So Maniratnam movies are such where the characters, they pose a clandestine question to the audience about not knowing about pertinent issues that might be happening in the places which is close by to us. Sri Lanka is a place which is close to India, but for so long, many have been ignorant about what was happening there. So only by the end of 2009 and at the later stage, we came to know what were the humanitarian disaster that was happening at that point of time. So he subtly and effectively illuminates several controversial political aspects of the Sri Lankan Tamil conflict in the movie, exemplified by his portrayal of the stark contrast between the vibrant, bustling town of Colombo, filled with Buddhist statues, and on the other side, the devastated northeastern territory occupied with army troops, where buildings bear the marks of destruction and people frantically flee. So, abandoning their positions, and also in the depiction of the much contentious aspect of the LTT, the recruitment of child militants. So these are the two most controversial things that he depicts in his movie, because Sri Lankan government was blamed to not showing any empathy for the Sri Lankan Tamil people or the development of the Sri Lankan Tamil territories. Maniratnam's choice to present the narrative through the child's eyes allows for the exploration of a profound and often unspoken questions, challenging viewers to contemplate the fundamental nature of war itself. So this approach is poignantly illustrated in the climax where Amuda asks her biological mother Shyama when the war will end. So this is a poignant query reflecting the uncertainty and despair of the time. Maniratnam, he tiptoes in depicting the cause of the Sri Lankan war. He only depicts its effects around the country, especially in the northeastern territory. So, without directly questioning the LTT's guerrilla warfare method, he has opted instead to explore broader themes such as international arms trade and commodification of war. So, in an earlier scene to this early scene of the climax, Harold Vikramasinghe, he's a Sri Lankan man, and he only takes the Sri Lankan family, throughout the northeastern territory. He helps them throughout their travel in Sri Lanka. So he engages in a dialogue with Tiruchelvan, who's the foster father of Amuda, about the root causes and potential solutions for war. So he sheds light on how developed countries in the global north exploit developing nations in the global south by selling arms and ammunition. So using examples from countries like Ireland, North America, and Bosnia. So this conversation subtly unveils the international dimension of the Sri Lankan Tamil conflict as well, which was not widely spoken during that time. It emphasizes the role of the economic and geopolitical interest of the developed countries in perpetuating violence in less developed countries. So arms exports are primarily about geopolitics. They are about securing strategic alliances. They are about winning diplomatic favors, and they're also about economic interest. So Naomi Klein, in her book *The Shock Doctrine: The Rise of Disaster Capitalism*, states that war is profitable. The arms industry thrives on conflict, perpetuating violence for the sake of profit. So the movie *KANNATHIL MUTHAMITTAL*, it poignantly reflects not just about the war, but the microcosmic tension within a traditional middle-class family. It particularly focuses on the upheaval that follows the revelation of Amuda's adoption. So this disclosure, it acts as a catalyst, fundamentally altering the family dynamics and mirroring broader social conflicts in Sri Lanka. So initially, the family appears to be a harmonious unit, but the news of Amuda's adoption fractures this image, causing her to feel like an outsider, especially in the eyes of her siblings. So Amuda grows increasingly distant from her family, especially from her foster mother Indra. So Amida is seen repeatedly stating that Indra is not her biological mother and her actual mother is MD Shyama, to whoever tells her that Indra is her mother. So despite the unwavering support and affection from her adoptive parents, Amuda's sense of belonging here is severely altered. So this familial discord serves as a microcosm of the larger struggle faced by the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees, who similarly experienced alienation and displacement within the Tamil homeland itself after they came to Tamil Nadu as refugees. So the film skillfully transitions from the intimate domestic sphere to the tumultuous backdrop of the Sri Lankan civil war, drawing a parallel between Amuda's personal journey and the collective plight of the Sri Lankan Tamils. So just as Amuda grapples with her identity and plays within her foster family, the refugees confront their marginalization and the harsh realities of being treated as outsiders in their homeland, especially in the Tamil homeland. So the there is this melancholic song called Vidai Kodu Engal Nade, which translates to Grant Me Farewell My Land. So this particular song is strategically placed in the movie during the poignant scene where Tiruchelvan, Indra, and Amuda visit the town of Mangulam, where Amuda's mother was originally from. This is a town in the northeastern province. So as they witness the evacuation of the entire town amidst the bombings by the army. The song here underscores a profound sense of loss and displacement experienced by the characters and the community. So Mankalam was one such example. Likewise, there are also other towns where people were experiencing multiple displacements. So this particular song written by Vairamuthu, a very prominent songwriter in Tamil Nadu, serves as a poignant narrative device here. It captures two parallel stories. One is the separation of Amuda from her biological mother, Shyama, and the forced separation of the townspeople from the homeland. So I'll read out the lyrics. Even if her mother is dressed in rags, is there anything more comforting than her lap? Even if we go to heaven, will it ever be as comfortable as our own village? In this country, I opened my eyes, but I know not where they will shut. Let us break up now, you rivers, and if errors are made, I shall try to come back. If my motherland weeps again, I shall come try to back. This land that was born on a floor of tears, is this the last time we shall see each other? Grant me farewell. So these lines encapsulate the emotional resonance of the scene here, illustrating the deep bond between the individuals and their homeland, paralleling the bond between a child and their mother. So the imagery of the mother's lap being the ultimate comfort, regardless of her attire, symbolizes the irreplaceable solace of one's homeland despite its condition. So Amuda's quest to reunite with the biological mother amidst the backdrop of a community being torn from their homeland intensifies the narrative's exploration of displacement. As Amuda seeks to reconnect with the maternal roots, the residents of the northeastern territory, Mangulam, are forcibly severed from their mother, that is their homeland. So this juxtaposition highlights the cyclical nature of separation and reunion within the context of war and displacement. So Amuda's personal journey mirrors the collective experience of the refugees, which highlights the universal longing for home and the pain of being uprooted. So the song becomes a lament for lost connection and distant hope for eventual reunification, both for Amuda with her mother and for the displaced individuals with their homeland. So here, the song Vidai Kodu Engal Nade transcends its role as a mere musical element, being a critical commentary on the intertwined fates of individuals and their communities in the times of conflict. So in the beginning of in between the movie, there is a flashback where Tiruchelvan narrates about his adoption story. So in that, Tiruchelvan, he's a writer. So in this movie, he's a writer and also an engineer. He's a very famous writer who writes short stories under a pen name called Indra, who's the name of his wife. So as Tiruchelvan writes this particular short story, Kudai or the Umbrella, this is the anchor of this particular movie. In fact, the working title of Kannathil Muthamittal itself is Manjal Kudai, called translates as Yellow Umbrella. So Maniratnam initially decided to keep this as title. Later he changed. So this particular title, Kudai or Umbrella, this particular short story is about the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees in Tamil Nadu who are forced to stay in appalling conditions in a number of camps around Tamil Nadu. Which Tiruchelvan in the story he writes, he mentions these camps as prison centers. So director Maniratnam, he places umbrella as a unique and a very significant motive throughout the movie. So here it is not just a symbol, but a motive, because it symbolizes the shelter or the home that refugees long for, both in their home and the host country. So the entire film is about Amuda trying to move out of her existing shelter in India and find her original home or shelter in Sri Lanka. So when they learn that Amuda's mother is a combatant through Shyama's brother, there is a subtle indication when Harold says to his mother. If you had seen the movie, there is one particular scene where Harold and the Tiruchelvan, they meet Shyama's brother, who's also militant, and he tells them that Shyama is a militant. So after this scene, we there is Harold comes back to his home and he tells his mother the umbrella which he carried is destroyed now. So this particular motive indicates that Amuda's present shelter in Sri Lanka is about to get broken, which is fragile and dangerous now. So this is a brilliant motive which Mani Ratnam has placed there. So in the climax also, both Amuda's foster parents and her biological mother come under a single umbrella, which you might have seen in the posters as well. Here the biological mother leaves Amuda once and for all, symbolically depicting that Amuda had to leave one shelter to embrace and accept another, that is, to leave Sri Lanka and to accept India. So, though the movie does not provide a closure, the three characters, Tiruchelvan, Indra, and Amuda, Amuda's foster parents, Tiruchelvan and Indra, they are standing under a single umbrella. This particular image depicts that Amuda has finally returned to her familiar space, which she grew distant. She kind of distanced herself from that particular space after learning about her adoption. So finally, she has found a home now. She has found a home, I would say, unlike other refugee children who are still stranded in refugee camps. So she kisses her foster mother Indra. She gives a peck on her cheek, which also resonates with the title of the movie. So this denotes acceptance of this. Also, I feel that it also picturizes the acceptance of Elam refugees in the Tamil homeland, and at the same time, it also highlights the possibility of integration and belonging that Sri Lankan Tamil refugees could attain in the Tamil homeland, which was much of a debate during that time, even till now. That even though people, Elam Tamils have a close tie with the people in the Tamil homeland, they only talk about it for political reasons, but other than that, there are no such improvement when it comes to the livelihood of the Sri Lankan Tamils in Tamil Nadu who are in camps. So this dual narrative of familial dynamics and war trauma portrayed in the movie underscores the universal themes of belonging, identity, and the quest for acceptance as well, which highlights both personal and political histories as deeply intertwined. By juxtaposing the familial conflict with a broader socio-political context, this movie offers complex dynamics of displacement and identity as well. So it illustrates how intimate personal experiences reflect and amplify larger societal issues, emphasizing the pervasive impact of exclusion and the enduring human desire for connection and acceptance. So through Amuda's story, the film sheds light on the profound emotional psychological toll of being perceived as an outsider, thereby deepening our understanding of the refugee experience, especially about Sri Lankan Tamils, and their universal struggle for belonging. So Amuda learns about her adoption at a very young age, which profoundly disrupts her sense of identity. And when the movie was released, this also became a debate because everybody protested about the fact that Amuda coming to know about her adoption at such an young age, and it's not good for any child psychology to know about their adoption story at such a young age. But still, in the movie, Mani Ratnam gives a justification to it, where Indra states to her father that it's important for her to know now, and if not now, when we are going to tell her. So Amada represents the innocent and naive segment of society insulated from the harsh realities of war and displacement. So her innocence is starkly juxtaposed against the brutal reality of the Sri Lankan conflict, resulting in a significant psychological turmoil. So this dynamic is vividly illustrated in two pivotal scenes in the film. So in the first scene, Amuda meets a person in a wheelchair, a stranger in a wheelchair in a park in Sri Lanka. Unaware of the stranger's true identity, she candidly shares her reasons for visiting Sri Lanka, and this stranger, later revealed to be a suicide bomber who detonates an explosive device by throwing himself into an army van, causing a traumatic shock to Amuda. So this incident initiates a symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder in Amuda, and uh, it's highlighted through her profound psychological impact at the later stage. So in another scene, Amuda ventures into a forest area and she loses her way and she encounters young militants similar in her age, which shocks and instills fear. This two interactions, these two experience underscores the dichotomy between purity and barbarity, as Amuda confronts a world where innocence and violence coexist. So the juxtaposition of her innocence against the backdrop of war exemplifies a tragic entanglement of childhood with conflict, a theme which is explored in various studies on the psychological impact of war on children. So Amada's experiences reveal the broader socio-political commentary of the film, reflecting how the innocence of individuals, particularly children, is disrupted by the harsh realities of war. So her journey is also emblematic of the loss of innocence experienced by many Sri Lankan Tamil children caught in the crossfire of the civil war. So the movie also vividly captures how the personal is sacrificed to the ideological and the home to the imagined nation, which I deem is the most important theme in the movie. So the character of Shyama, she embodies this conflict most starkly compared to any other characters in the movie. So as a former LTT militant, Shyama's personal life is subsumed by her commitment to the Tamil Elam cause. So Shyama's reason to abandon her infant daughter Amuda and return to her conflict-ridden homeland highlights the difficult decisions forced upon individuals by political upheaval. Initially departing to search for her husband Dilipan, Shyama ultimately aligns herself with his sacrifice for the broader ideology of the liberated homeland. When informed by her brother that Amuda wishes to meet her, Shyama suppresses her maternal instinct once more, demonstrating her continued dedication to the nationalist cause. So this particular event symbolizes how the ideological vision of a liberated nation demands personal sacrifices, particularly from a woman as a combatant and also as a caregiver and a provider. So the imagined nation in this case takes precedence over the tangible and immediate responsibilities of motherhood, illustrating how personal relationships are often subordinated to ideological imperatives. Samuda's perspective serves as a conduit for exploring the interconnectedness of personal and political histories in the movie. So, her evolving understanding of her own identity from an adored daughter of the Richelvan and Indra to a child of a war-torn country encapsulates the film's central theme. So, the film's lack of closure in the final analysis underscores the ongoing nature of these conflicts and the enduring impact on personal lives. So Shyama's refusal to return to India with Amuda, despite their emotional reunion, signifies the unresolved tension between her own personal desires and ideological commitments for Elam. So this open-ended conclusion reflects the reality of many displaced families who were caught between the warring parties and unable to escape the island for various reasons. Shyama can also be interpreted as one helpless figure here. So Amada's decision to leave behind the safety and sophistication of Chennai to return to the war-torn country reflects a profound transformation in her understanding of home and belonging as well. So her journey here embodies a shift from a sheltered existence to a confronting reality, where here the meaning of home also irreversibly get altered by the experience of conflict and also displacement. So Amada's journey, it also highlights how political conflict can shape personal identities and perceptions of home. Here we can observe that the concept of home and displacement is multifaceted, revealing the emotional and psychological complexities associated with each of the characters. So as Samudha grows up in her foster home, she develops a sense of belonging and identity with a stable and a loving environment. So this foster home represents security, love, and a nurturing space where she feels valued and cared for. However, the revelation of her biological roots and a journey to her actual home, a war-torn land, introduces her to the harsh realities of displacement. So the contrast between her foster home and her actual home underscores the duality of her identity and the internal conflict she faces in the aftermath of it. So her conflict and instability represents the harsh truth of her heritage and the struggle faced by her. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead, Jenisha.
Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead. There was a little bit of disturbance, but you're okay. No problem. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So this journey of Amada from a war-torn homeland to her war-torn homeland is a critical point in Amada's life. This forces her to confront the realities of her origins and the displacement that defines her biological family's existence and the Sri Lankan Tamil community as a whole. So the war-torn land symbolizes not only physical destruction but also the emotional and the psychological turmoil of the Sri Lankan Tamil community who had to face internal displacement and who had to face many such sufferings during the course of the war. So finally, we can see that Amuda achieves a reconciliation of her dual identities and an acceptance of her complex heritage. So here, a foster home now holds a deeper significance, representing not just a place of refuge, but also a space where she can honor and integrate both her past and present history. So the concept of home therefore evolves for Amuda. It becomes not merely a physical space, but a profound emotional and psychological anchor that encompasses love, belonging, and acceptance. Another important thing that I wanted to specifically analyze in this particular discussion is about the portrayal of gender roles or the contrasting portrayal of Indra and Shyama in this particular movie. So Maniratnam has strengthened the idea that women hailing from both private and public sphere are integral and central to the construction and reproduction of the nation. That is Shama hailing from a public sphere and Indra coming from a domestic sphere. So Indra she portrays as though she's a working woman, she's a TV anchor, but she portrays as a nurturing mother within the domestic sphere. Mostly women occupy the private realm, but their narratives and the discourse about them is often marginalized or even deemed inappropriate in nationalist discourses. So initially overshadowed by the familial dominance of Tiruchelvan and the stubborn nature, the allure of her famous husband throughout the movie, Indra's pivotal role in nurturing Amuda and mainly family cohesion is sidelined till the end of the movie, but is revealed at the end to be the cornerstone of the movie. So this particular fact we would not much notice in the movie. So despite not actively participating in public political discourse, Indra's emotional labor and unwavering dedication to her family provide the stability necessary for their unity amidst a broader conflict. If you had noticed, it was Indra who instilled the idea of adoption in Tiruchelvan's mind, because he just wanted to take care of the baby in some way, but he didn't have the idea to adopt the child. So it was she who instilled the idea. It was she who fiercely loved Amuda till the end of the movie. So Shyama's character, on the other hand, Shyama's character challenges traditional gender roles by occupying both the public and private sphere. Because within the moment, she takes care of many children, many militants, young militants. So she's a mother to them. She's like a mother to them. Even when Shyama's brother comes and tells her that your daughter has come from India to meet you, she replies him that she's not my daughter, but I have 300 children to take care here. So her decision to leave her newborn daughter Amuda in a refugee camp and return to the battlefield, it highlights the sacrifices women make in nationalist struggle. So this also highlights the integral role in shaping national narrative beyond the confines of a private sphere. So Maniratnam's portrayal of Indra and Shyama thus reinforces this particular contention that women's contribution to nation building are often overlooked or relegated to the private sphere. So through the portrayal of these characters, the film critiques the dichotomy between public and private spheres, emphasizing that women's roles in shaping national identity are multifaceted and indispensable and extend beyond the traditional symbolic hierarchies. So in the climax of the movie, Shyama's decision to risk her safety and visit the park despite the recent conflict exemplifies the power of maternal instinct and the deep emotional bond between mother and daughter. So, despite the dangers posed by the ongoing conflict, interestingly, Shyama's primary concern is to see her daughter Amuda one last time and ensure her safety. So, this act underscores her maternal instinct surpassing the immediate political goals. Similarly, we can also see Indra's decision to bring her family to the park, despite their reluctance and the potential dangers, driven by her belief that Shyama might come and reunite with Amuda. So, here both Shyama's and Indra's maternal instinct culminate at one point in the successful emotional reunification, highlighting the central theme of maternal love and sacrifice of the movie. So this climax also serves as a denouement of the journey towards her identity. So this depiction highlights the profound role of women in fostering peace and reconciliation, not only within families, but also within communities affected by conflict. So the hidden theme behind this particular scene, I think, is that Mani Ratnam posed this opportunity for women being the reason behind, for women could be the reason, can be a possible strong reason behind reconciliation of two countries. So both Shama and Indra's maternal instincts ultimately lead to the successful reunification of mother and daughter, also symbolizing the possibility of amending the past mistakes committed by both India and LTT, and how India committed a mistake through the posting of IPKF from the period of 1987 till 1990. And during the time, IPKF, the Indian peacekeeping force, committed various atrocities, because of which the LTT movement decided to assassinate Rajiv Gandhi. And from LTT side, the same was a mistake committed by them, the decision to assassinate Rajiv Gandhi. And this was main reason for the strained relationship between India and Sri Lanka. So through the movie, Mani Ratnam subtly states that there is a possibility for reconnection between India and Sri Lanka. Not just that, but also between Elam homeland and Tamil homeland. So the film adeptly navigates the intersection of personal and political realm through this depiction of Shyama and Indra, highlighting how civil war in Sri Lanka disrupts both traditional gender roles and familial structure. The war compels women to assume unconventional roles, blending maternal instincts with political involvement. So Shama's character embodies this dual role, as I already said, and her involvement in the conflict is portrayed as an extension of her maternal instinct to protect and nurture, albeit on a larger national scale. So Indra, representing the domestic sphere, also illustrates how gendered nationalism shapes maternal roles. So her nurturing of Amuda in a politically stable environment underscores the importance of peace for effective motherhood. Yet her willingness to support Amuda's quest to find her biological mother demonstrate the extension of her maternal duties beyond the private sphere. I don't think I have time to discuss about female militants, about which I have a very long discussion, but maybe I can do it later if I get an opportunity. I would like to end here. Finally, want to end this discussion by stating that how here Amuda's journey is emblematic of the concept of how she navigates the ambiguous space between her biological and adoptive families, between her birthright and her nurtured identity. So in the movie, Amuda's liminal state is also highlighted by her conflicting emotions and divided loyalties between Sri Lanka and India. So she's caught between the security and love of a foster home on one side, and pull of her biological roots on the other. So her initial pursuit of a biological mother signifies a quest for a more complete understanding of her identity. Yet her experiences in war on Sri Lanka and her eventual realization of Indra's profound love bring her to a deeper understanding of what home and family truly mean. So this duality and conflict within Amuda's identity underscores the broader themes of displacement and belonging, which reflects the lived realities of many who inhabit this liminal space in the context of migration and diaspora. So by the the film's conclusion, Amuda embodies a hybrid identity, where she integrates both her past and her present. She acknowledges the sacrifices and emotional bonds with both her biological and her foster family. So finally, we can see Amuda's initial rejection of Indra, which means her foster ties, in favor of her biological type, parallels a nation's search for its roots amidst ethnic divisions and political strife. Also, Amuta's gradual understanding of her own identity as not just a daughter of Tiruchelvan, but also as a child shaped by the love and sacrifices of Indra, highlights the connection between personal narratives of belonging and the broader socio-political landscape, where the individual, Amuda, quests for her identity, intertwined with the collective struggle for a justice, recognition, and reconciliation for a divided nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jenisha. This is like a well-prepared, publication-ready paper that you have presented on your film. And since I know a little bit of your PhD work, I can see, how well you have integrated, all your readings and all your thinking about this issue in your reading of this film, particularly the question of refugee, the question of homeland and displacement, which you have discussed wonderfully today. The film is now open for discussion. Anyone who wants to come in at this point, you're most welcome. Please unmute yourself so I know that you want to speak. Anyone who wants to speak? Yes, Geeta, please go ahead.
Yeah. Nikhila, Praveena would like to ask a question.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead, Praveena. Well, very warm welcome to TFO.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful paper to the speaker. And you made a really good connection there between the individual and the collective, and especially this idea of adoption. It worked really, really well as an allegory of the historical. The question I had, of course, is I just saw half of it, by the way, so I'm particularly not very well placed to do this, but no, so you can hear me still, right? Yeah.
Yes, you're
Okay.
on. Please
So
go ahead.
my question to the speaker is, do you have any thoughts on the aesthetics of Mani Ratnam? Because he makes it very, very clear that he is directing. There is a certain kind of intrusiveness in his direction, which you just cannot escape. I mean, between those girls in pink dancing around, those extreme long shots of colorful saris, and dramatic joy and dramatic sorrow. I mean, there's something about his filmmaking, and I'm only now talking about his cinematic skills, not so much about the sociological identities, etc. Do you have any thoughts as to what is the impact, or did you feel any impact on yourself by, I mean, I just felt that there was Mani Ratnam's cinema. I mean, there's a definite signature, and what is that feeling of trying to extend every emotion? To me, it was intrusive, but I could be wrong, because, as I said, I don't have as much of a handle on the film as you do. I'm going to give this to, but I'm listening. I'm going to give this to Geeta to hold. Okay.
Yeah, Geeta, any question from your end or comment, or you want Jenisha to respond?
Can I just quickly ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jenisha, for that wonderful elaboration, and for the very extensive historical background on the Tamil Elam. My question to you is, this is not just one film in which Mani Ratnam has conflict as a background. It's there in Roja, it's there in Bombay, it's there in Dil Se, and probably in some of his other Tamil films as well. Unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with his Tamil work, but his Hindi work I do know. So And even if you look at other Elam films, for instance, Santosh Shivan's A Terrorist, uh, there is that, of course, it is focused on the conflict and then its humanitarian and the resulting humanitarian crisis. But somehow all these conflict-ridden films ultimately prove to be status quoist. And I'm sorry, this particular film, I just saw half of it. I was not able to complete it. So I'm not sure where you would place this film in the context of his other films on based on conflict, on political conflict, especially. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Jenisha, you can respond to Praveena's and Geeta's question if you have anything to say.
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
So I actually intentionally didn't touch upon Mani Ratnam's aesthetics or his kind of vision for any of his films related to conflict or socio-political issues. But I would say that in this particular movie, Kannathil Muthamittal, he gives a lot of importance for the spatial representations of the movie, and he is very particular about depicting the issues about refugees when it comes to depicting the refugee camp scene in the flashback. And also there is one particular scene in the movie where Amuda, she stands in Rameshwaram. She goes to Rameshwaram all by herself, and she stands there seeing Sri Lanka from there, because Sri Lanka is very close to Rameshwaram. So there is no dialogues there, and Amuda's parents come and kind of hug her, and her father promises her that he will take her to Sri Lanka. So this particular scene here, I would say that Mani Ratnam has beautifully portrayed and has linked this particular scene with another particular flashback where Amuda, as a baby, she looks through the window. As a baby, as an infant, she looks towards the side of Sri Lanka from the window of the refugee camp. He kind of beautifully brings a connection between these two scenes without much dialogue. So this is one thing, and also as I already mentioned in my discussion, how he portrays the distinction between Colombo within the Sri Lanka itself, the distinction between Colombo and the other northeastern territories, where he places this image of Buddha. He purposefully places this image of Buddha throughout their journey in Colombo, whereas it is completely absent in the northeastern territory. This image again symbolifies the main theme of the movie, which is peace and reconciliation. Apart from that, this movie is considered to be a musical drama, and though the placement of the songs like Deivam Tanda Puve, this is much criticized, and many film reviewers has mentioned that the placement of the song does not validate the actual meaning of that particular scene. So in this particular song also we can see the actual aesthetics that Mani Ratnam wanted to portray here. He kind of states the love between the mother and the daughter. It's not just the love between Indra and Amuda here, also the subsequent connection, reunification gives a hint to that as well. And there are two versions of songs, Deivam Tanda Puve. One is a male and female version. So the placement of the male version of Deivam Tanda Puve is after the intermission of the movie, where they go to Sri Lanka. And in this particular portrayal, we can see that Amuda is dressed herself as she's in the Buddhist monk attire, and again there are Buddhist statues everywhere, which symbolifies the theme of peace here. So through these representations and several spatial locations, Mani Ratnam has successfully he has portrayed the aesthetics of Sri Lankan Tamil war aesthetics in the movie, I would say. And to the other question about other movies which talks about the theme of terrorism and socio-political issues, I have not watched Dil Se, but I have watched Roja and Bombay. So compared to these three movies, I would say Mani Ratnam did not touch directly upon lot of issues concerning the guerrilla warfare thing, or lot of ethnical issues, ethnical reasons in the movie. Whereas I would say in Roja or in Bombay, he directly confronts many issues. For example, in Bombay, the Hindu Muslim riot, this has been explicitly discussed through many such dialogues and conversations between the characters. Though I have not watched these two movies recently. I watched it long back, so I don't remember it vividly what were the scenes. But as far as I could remember, this particular movie stands contrast with with these other movies about the socio-political issues. But the common trope among his this trilogy, that is terrorism trilogy and Kannathil Muthamittal, is that it kind of gives an awareness sense to the audience, that to look back at the issues concerning and most pressing issues which is happening nearby. So that kind of message is clearly evident in all these, at least in Kannathil Muthamittal and his other terrorist trilogy.
Thank you very much, Jenisha, for your response, and also giving us a sense of some of the symbolism in the songs. I mean, we have watched the songs as a spectacle, but you have drawn our attention to, why these things seem to matter. What is this symbolism indicating in terms of the context? For instance, I too saw the attire, but the reading that you have offered is very, very interesting. Anyone else who wants to come in at this point? Gayatri, anything to say? Gayatri is here. She is our student from Sri Lanka. Would Gayatri want to speak about the film? Gayatri?
Very good discussion, Jenisha. Yes.
Can you be a little louder?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, now you're audible. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. It was a wonderful discussion, Jenisha. Apart from that real scenario and the depiction, your analysis about that portrayal and this comparison of this Shyama and Indra, those characters, very nice and well prepared discussion. It was so good. And there are so many things to compare about the reality and what is the stance now, because the film was released in 2002, and what is the stance now after about 20 years. There is that film has its impact till now, so that is also an interesting scope from this film. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, to add to that, when the movie was released, it did not have much scope, because at that point of time, for Tamil people, they did not have much of understanding about what were the reasons for the war, and what were the why they did not even understand that Tamil people are getting oppressed in their land, so in Sri Lanka. So, but in the later stage only, especially after the culmination of the war, when UN and human rights associations and many international agencies, when it took up the issue and it found that many humanitarian disasters has been committed, many people started understanding the actual implication of the war. And this movie, I think, it resonated a lot with Sri Lankan Tamil aspect, the war history. Only after the culmination of the war, until then, this movie was seen as something is about motherly affection, about adoption, about the love between a mother and daughter. That was the only central theme that was considered earlier, interpreted earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else to add, Gayatri?
Yes, ma'am. That I meant that relevancy of that film for this present scenario. You might have heard of that Shantan's release, Jenisha. Recently, that one of the victims of this Rajiv Gandhi's Shantan, he recently released, but he passed away unfortunately. So
Yeah.
after that incident, also this the reception of the film is different now. Or like I felt so in the Sri Lankan scenario, people talk about this what is that reconciliation, or that joining hand together of between India and Sri Lanka. That reception, there is another question, counter question, like regarding this film. This film initiated so many questions, and now the reception in Sri Lanka and reception in India, it is different. You can explore that also. I felt that.
Yes, I think I have not noticed that much how the reception has changed after that particular incident you have mentioned. I will look into that for sure.
Yes, and this another that I forgot the name, that this is also a screen adaptation, and another one regarding Dilipan's history. They are going to release, I guess. Because of this reception, the trend, they have changed the story, and for that film, I'm not sure about that title or anything. There is a plan for that film, like depicting the real scenario is
Of
important.
Dilipan of
Yeah.
so he was a militant, right? He was a militant
Yeah.
and is considered to be a warrior by the LTT. It's much adulated earlier.
Yeah, he died because of hunger strike.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was the primary reason for many Tamil movements to come up.
Yes, exactly. He's an MBBS doctor, medical faculty student, but he sacrificed his life for this. But I'm happy that I could listen to a film review after a while regarding our from the film about our own issue and these things, and that Sri Lankan Tamil employed there. That is also an interesting aspect.
Thank you.
Mhm.
It was really, I'm also happy to interact for the, I think, second time with the Sri Lankan Tamil. I think that are you from Sri Lanka? Are you from the Sri Lankan Tamil territory? Or,
Yes, yes.
okay, okay. From where?
Jaffna itself. Jaffna.
Jaffna. Okay.
Mm. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Gayatri. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else who would like to come in now? Yes, Gopika, please go ahead.
Hello, Janisha. I loved your talk. A very detailed and
Thank you.
your attention to very grand aspects. I wanted to ask about the male character. Like, I understand that the female characters are related to the motherhood, the aspect of motherhood, and each of their, like, their connection to the girl also portrays the connection to the motherland. So, what about the father figure? Have you considered as in, like,
Tiruchelvan?
yes, the hero, like Madhavan's character. So I think he's instrumental in bringing these people together in adoption also, and even in the end, like providing the shelter with the umbrella. So I
Yeah.
feel like in the discourse of nation as a female entity, like, and
Mhm.
even while describing the kind of filial nature, like a filial bonds purity, we mostly talk about mother and child. But
And I feel like in the emerging area of masculinity studies, even male members of family, sometimes, I'm not saying that like they don't get representation, but here I think he has drawn, like he has done a great service to the father figures also, in contrast to how most of the films portraying motherland do. So I just wanted to know your opinion on that.
Yeah. I think in most of the Mani Ratnam movies, the female characters, they emerge as very strong characters that even the, it's fortunate or unfortunate, the voice of the male characters get subsumed. So in this particular movie, as you said, Tiruchelvan, he's a turning point because through his short story only, Indra comes to know about this kid, and she goes and sees this child, and she puts this thought in his mind that as a question, as a formal question, like, do you have any thoughts of adopting this child? After that only he decides to adopt, and only for adoption he marries Indra in this movie, though he has some affection towards her. This particular event, this particular idea of adoption makes him, he forces him to marry Indra. And throughout the movie, Tiruchelvan's presence is one of protector. He protects Amuda, and he protects his entire family. And I would say that he's like the connecting point between Indra, Amuda, and also Shyama. And his story, especially his short story, it stands at the center in connecting all these characters and aspects. And what was the other thing that you asked about the male characters representation?
That was the primary, the kind of bone, that the importance of the paternal one also. Like
Yes.
adoption as such,
Okay.
it's normally like in films, of course, this is a very different film. But when we talk about adoption in general, it is mostly like in IVF marriages and otherwise, it's mostly because the female feels a lack. Like feels a need to have a child, and like she withers because of not having a child and such. But here, of course, the political context is also very relevant. But at the same time, it's the male who actually wants that adoption thing to happen. Like that, it's as you said, the protector nature, or that need to have a child also,
Yes.
and a girl child at that, in a country like when a lot girl children are not considered as the like, if somebody is supposed to have a child, like if they can have only one child, it used to be the preference used to be male. So here, them getting a girl child, and of course, even it's with its political connotations, I found it very interesting that he portrayed a father figure wanting to adopt a girl child as such, that
Yes.
felt yeah.
Uh, with that idea, I just got reminded of another aspect in the movie of the other paternal character who does not come in the movie. I mean, Dilipan, Shyama's husband, who's a biological father of Amuda. She does not questions about his identity, does not pesters her parents about asking the whereabouts of her father. She only focuses on finding her mother, biological mother.
exactly.
Yeah, I was also wondering. I did not find answer for this particular question until I realized maybe Mani Ratnam wanted to focus the significance of the connection between the motherland Elam, because Elam normally or any homeland is portrayed as the motherland. So he wanted to stress on that particular connection between an individual and the connection between an individual and the motherland, and that is why she's not much focused on finding the paternal ties. But finally, in the climax, she asks Shyama, like, where is my father, if I could see him? So, for which Shyama doesn't have an answer. I also initially, when I was searching an answer for this question, I thought it is because here Amuda, she accepts the affection and love, and understands the affection and love of her father, Tiruchelvan, foster father Tiruchelvan, more than understanding the affection of Indra, because the way Indra treats Amuda's like a traditional the South Asian women mother, South Asian mother, whereas Tiruchelvan is sort of very kind with Amuda, even if she does a lot of mistakes. Because when I watched this movie as a child, I got irritated with with the child character Amuda, because anybody would, when they first watch the movie without any background, without any understanding of the background, they will have this question why this child is not loyal to her foster parents. She seeks refuge in her father whenever Indra is kind of strict with her, and she goes and hugs Tiruchelvan in many instances, evidently rejecting the affection of Indra. So, because of this sort of affection that he has for Tiruchelvan, I think she didn't want to know about her biological father. She only wanted to know about the identity of her mother, because she denied the motherhood for Indra. This sort of strong affection between a foster father and an adopted daughter, especially as you said, daughter is something important, because in many movies we don't see the correct appropriate portrayal of a foster father and an adopted daughter. In this movie, Mani Ratnam has brilliantly portrayed that kind of a pure love and affection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gopika and Jenisha. Anything else to add, Gopika?
And I just want to say, like, the father-daughter connection is something that is a common thread in Maniratnam movies also, in that sense, because even in the recent OK Kanmani, and especially foster father figures, even in OK Kanmani, that old couple with whom Dulquer and Nitya stays, we can see that he connects with, even both of them connect with the lady, like Nitya's character, emotionally, more than to the Dulquer's character. So that affinity to a daughter is something I think that he has always, that is a common thread in his life.
Yeah. Thanks, Gopika, for drawing our attention to that. Basav has unmuted. Basav, you want to come in at this point? Basav? Okay. Jayadarini has unmuted. Jayadarini wants to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
First of all, it was a profound presentation. Before proceeding to discuss the text, the way you just threw light on the larger context was very useful, especially for the people who may not be so much aware of the history of Sri Lanka. So this is my observation, and my question is not on the observations that you have made, but it's something else. The films like Bombay and Bombay Roja and Dil Se of Mani Ratnam had pan-Indian value. Dil Se was not even released in Tamil, but its dubbing was itself so much popular. What I would like to know is, did this movie, Kannathil Muthamittal, had this kind of a pan-Indian value?
It did not. It did not have a pan-Indian value, nor did it was popular among the Tamil audiences back then when it was released. Maybe I think when I read about it, because I was also a kid back then, I don't remember how the reception was, but like I had to read reviews to know how the reception was back during the time. It was, as I already mentioned, it was a few years after Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, and at that point of time, I think Tamil community were very much agitated with the fact that LTT has committed such kind of an assault on the Indian Prime Minister, because Rajiv Gandhi was such an respected figure during that point of time. Also, it happened in Tamil Nadu. That assassination took place in Tamil Nadu. I think that kind of played a very important role for the movie's failure. theatrical failure at that point of time. So only much later, as I already mentioned, after the culmination of the war, did the movie became popular among the Tamil audience, and then a lot of people they kind of empathized with the militant leader and also with the Tamil cause, Elam cause. And then they rewatched this movie, and the way they understood the movie, not just as a tale, not just as a melodrama about a motherly love and care, but about a larger issue. This sort of thing, I think, took place only after the culmination of the war, after much of the Tamil people came to know about what happened, what actually happened in Sri Lanka. This is just about the Tamil community and about the wider Indian audience. As considering this movie to be a pan-Indian movie, I don't think in another 10 years that would happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jayadharini. Anyone else who would like to comment now?
Yes, ma'am. I actually want
Yes,
to
Dr. Bhupati,
say
please
one
go ahead.
observation.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Jenisha, for the very extensive presentation. You actually brought in a lot of views and points related to the movie, as well as the wider context of Sri Lankan ethnic conflict. Yeah, it was something related to what actually Professor Geeta has raised in the beginning, and also Jayadharani just now asked about it. In fact, I thought I would talk about it a little late, but since Jayadharani has talked about it, and I thought I'll just talk about it. I just say this observation. It is like related to Mani Ratnam's intervention in the early 1990s. Moving on to mid 1990s with Bombay and Dil Se. Also, this 2002, this movie, this KANNATHIL MUTHAMITTAL. There is a clear-cut pattern of Mani Ratnam's direction in terms of mitigating the political vigor, the political context completely. Be it starting from Roja, we know in which context Roja actually was brought out by Mani Ratnam and what kind of reception it had in the larger context. Ravi Vasudevan has a brilliant essay on this. Also this Bombay, they'll say, and particularly this movie, there's a certain amount of mitigating Tamil nationalist politics, especially what you call pushing the Tamil nationalist politics uh, simply by blanketing with the emotional attachment. In this movie also, from the beginning till the end, you find there's a very clear-cut overtone of emotion in terms of love, affection. In the beginning, it was a a very deep love between the couple. In the middle and towards the end, you find Amuda's character dominating. There's a similarly in Roja also you can find it, and all the other two and the other two movies also, Bombay and Delsi. There's a clear-cut as intervention by Mani Ratnam, but I don't know, probably I can say it intentional intervention to foreground the emotional aspect as the major one, so as to shall we say this marginalize or push this the Tamil political context in terms of Tamil nationalism in the 1990s, particularly because of this Sri Lankan ethnic conflict. Where Tamil nationalism was brewing, and also we know very well in the 1990s, LTT militants were actually sort of trained in Tamil Nadu, particularly in Ooty and other places. And in fact, late Kalingar's government was actually sort of withdrawn because of this issue. Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, a lot of things actually took place. In 1990 was a very, very turbulent period in the political context of Tamil Nadu. Also in the beginning of 2000. So you said that Mani Ratnam's, this particular movie did not have much reception. I agree with you, but In 2002, Toronto Film Festival, it had a huge reception. And 2003, San Francisco Film Festival, it had a huge reception. So if not in the Indian context, a Tamil context, outside Tamil Nadu, in the international realms, the film had a very huge reception. I was actually in the evening, I was going through a couple of reviews where one North Indian, I think a viewer actually commented that North Indians should look at this movie, less particularly Mani Ratnam's movie for the texturity of emotional depiction. So, what do you actually talk about it? And do you agree with this point that Mani Ratnam has a very clear-cut pattern of filmic direction, which very purposefully, intentionally pushes Tamil nationalist politics by foregrounding emotional aspect of the characters. So I think that sort of started with Roja, if I can say, culminated with the Kannathil Muthamittal. So yeah, that's my observation actually. Yeah. So,
Yes, there is definitely this larger portrayal of when we look at the larger picture of Kannathil Muthamittal, or I have not noticed the aspect of Tamil nationalism in his other movies. Maybe I didn't. It's my failure that I didn't observe that. But when it comes to this movie, there is a larger picture of Tamil nationalism behind it, and but opposite. But I don't know. Contrastingly, I kind of observed that. Mani Ratnam here, he questions the validity of the Elam cause. Uh, because there are several instances in the movie, he explicitly questions the guerrilla warfare method, especially during the dialogue, the conversation between Harold and Thirichelvan. But through that, he also kind of questions the Elam cause and what's going to be the end, what's going to be the final solution for this. There is kind of portray nihilistic end for the cause. I kind of felt that, I kind of observed that the only solution could be peace, and there is no reason for the Tamils to fight for their cause. I mean, there could be some other way to do it, but the sort of idea just came to my mind while watching the movie. But I think largely he kind of tries to bring a reconciliation between, as I already mentioned, between the Tamil homeland and the Elam land, and that is where the Tamil nationalism comes into the scene. Because in the very unit, the very foundation of Tamil nationalism is also built equally in the Elam, in the Sri Lankan Tamil, where there are a lot of plenty of leaders like Selvan Ayagam, who has fought for the rights of Tamil and who has supported the larger cause of Tamil nationalism. So yes, I would agree with that point that he has vividly, explicitly portrayed the Tamil nationalist cause in the movie. I have no idea about the other movies.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Bhupati, it's interesting that you mentioned Tamil nationalism, Roja, and the other films. In fact, Roja is one of the most written about films, by various
yes.
scholars. The debate on Roja went on for years. With many people talking about nationalism, and in that context they also said something very interesting, which is that generally Indian language films, whether it is Tamil film or Kannada film, usually does not engage with the larger question of Indian nationalism. So Pakistan is very rarely an enemy in a Tamil film or in a Kannada film. These days it's
Yes,
somewhat
yes, true.
common. So, but Mani Ratnam's Roja was one of the first films to kind of orient the nation in some ways as the trajectory, where the Tamil family, and I think this goes for
That's
also.
true, ma'am. But that was at the cost of that was at the cost of like that's what actually it was like this very vividly sort of discussed and talked about in Tamil context. That was the nation was depicted at the cost of subsuming the subnationalist sort of a thing. When with the sort of in a way sort of survived very long for a very long time in Tamil context, also in Canada also. So.
Yes, yes. Yeah, precisely. I was coming to that point about how Tamil nationalism gets subsumed in the larger question of Indian nationalism in Mani Ratnam films. I think it's a very important point that you have made, Dr. Bhupati. Also, I was saying that, in all these films, what you call as the terrorism trilogy, it is as if this is a very common axis on which Mani Ratnam's films work. In some ways, the infringement or incursion of the larger context on the family, so the family is aestheticized. And then there are these larger forces which are constantly threatening the family. So what is the problem? What is the issue at hand? While the larger politics itself, we get a glimpse of that. As Jenisha said very rightly, there are many pointers to the larger politics. But how do we emotionally connect? It is through what happens to a particular family and how that family gets gets threatened, torn apart in film after film. I think this question came up from Geeta and Praveena's question right at the beginning. So how these are some of the common elements. So the family becoming, being the site of threat by larger forces. So it's not so much the larger issue as much as its impact on a particular family that gets highlighted in film after film. Anyone else or anyone who would like to respond at this point? Anyone who wants to come in? Tarakeshwar? Okay.
I don't think I will be able to speak now. Thank you.
I see. Okay, fine. Yeah, no problem. Anyone else? Madhurima, Rasha, anyone who wants to come in? Yagnashri, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, madam. She's Jeshna, right?
Jenisha.
Hello. Janisha, yeah. That was really a wonderful presentation, Janisha. Thank you so much. You took at my attention towards many things that I took for granted. Actually, it's a very simple thing that I wanted to ask. How do you look at these two versions of the song? What is that? Deivam Tanda Puve, where you find the contradictory images being used there. That's what I want to ask.
So I would say that this the first version which took place between Indra and Amuda. So this is solely about the love and affection that Indra wanted to convey to her adopted daughter in a way of consolation. So she consoles Amuda by telling that she's the center point of their world, of the Richelvan and Indra's world, and how important she is for Indra especially. So this is at the innocent stage. This is before they learn as a family, they learn about the horrible reality of the other side of the world. So there are these two worlds presented here, as I already mentioned. I think this sort of theme is present almost in all of his movies, where there are two worlds. One world is an innocent world, and the other world is a world fraught with turmoil, and they kind of meet the other world and they come to their sense. Through that, the director gives an awareness to the audience as well. So this particular song is entirely it's written with pure innocence and pure affection, whereas this the other version, the male version, comes after the intermission, after they go to Sri Lanka, after they witness all these conflict, all the actual history of Sri Lanka. So in the movie, the lyrics doesn't change. The lyrics is almost the same, but there is the first song is a larger version of the song. This one is a shorter, male version is a shorter version of the song. We have the lyrics like this is in the second version. It's a male version, as I already said. Tirush Shelvan, the father, sings a song to his daughter, and he kind of calls her in the song as both his pain and both his gift and both his sin. So through that, he kind of states how Sri Lanka, as I kind of interpreted it in such a way, is both a gifted country with this lush greenery and everything, but also on the other hand, it's a country which has been failed in a lot of terms, which has become a cursed country now. So through it's not just now a story, an emotional story between a father and daughter, but now it has surpassed it. It talks about the broader political issue of Sri Lanka, and through that, this idea of peace and reconciliation comes into the foray, where Amuda, as I already said, she's cladded in this Buddhist monk attire, and there are also a lot of Buddhist statues present. I read that this particular scene was shot in Atirapalli waterfalls. So this is again kind of a spatial play that Mani Ratnam does in his movies, where even there is another occasion where in the flashback, it is shown that the refugee camp is situated in Rameshwaram, Amit's beach, but in the second half, there is another one flashback where no, not flashback, where Amada visits the refugee camp after growing up, after learning about her adoption. Here, this camp is situated elsewhere. So he kind of does the spatial play voluntarily, intentionally, or just like that. That is also another aspect that has to be looked upon in his movies, I think.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
because even I was going through the lines here. Even in that female version, we find Enadu Sondam ni, Enadu Pagayum ni, Kadal Malarum ni, Karuvul Mullum ni. So even here we find that, the
Yeah.
contradictory images coming up. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank
Also,
you.
I
Thank
think, yeah, it can be also interpreted in this way, that how Tamil homeland is thinking about what it is Tamil homeland's observation about Sri Lanka, because in this particular line,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
Swandam and another Pagayum ni. So
Yeah.
and also there is another line, you are a feather that flew away from me. There is one line like
Yeah.
that. So I think
Yeah.
Tamil homeland gave birth to this Elam, which got kind of separated from it, which is now completely different, completely far removed from what is there, what is the reality of the Tamil homeland. Kind of a
Yeah, thank you so
soulful.
much. Actually, your intervention has brought it has allowed me to see new meanings from this text now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else who would like to come in? Anything to say? Okay. Yeah, if there are no more comments, then it's late in the night. It's close to 10:45 now. But we have had a wonderful discussion, Jenisha. You really made the film very, very meaningful for all of us. Thank you very much, not only for the initial opening remarks, which really brought out so many aspects of the film, but also your interventions, your responses to all the questions that came up in the course of the discussion. Thank you all for joining in the discussion this evening. Talking Films Online meets every Saturday at 9 p.m. So next week, again, we will come back with another film discussion. Do join us then and have a wonderful weekend. So those who are in other parts of the globe, have a nice morning as we all go to bed. Bye.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Good night.
Bye. Bye. Good night.